Hello everyone and welcome to Southridge. If this is your first time joining us in this format, we want to offer a few tips on how to make the most of this experience. So be sure to crank up the volume during the music and actually sing along. Don't worry, we can't hear you. Musicians, you can download the music charts below the video, grab your instrument and play along. Now for any kids participating with us, don't worry if you don't know or can't read the words. Just sing. You can dance, you can make music of your own. We're just so happy when you join in with us. Now, if English isn't your first language or you're experiencing hearing challenges, we encourage you to turn on the closed captioning on this video or download the transcripts for this morning's message. And be sure to download the Southridge app. This is the best way to stay connected and informed about everything that's going on here at Southridge. It's completely free and it's super easy to use. But for the next hour, I invite you to engage with this experience just as if you were with us, surrounded by a community of diverse, curious, open-minded, and inclusive people, all desiring to tap into the power and presence of God together as we worship, pray, listen, laugh, and grow. I mean, there might be some things that we do or say today that really resonate with you, and that's great. There might also be things that stretch and challenge you, and we think that's good too. Ultimately, we encourage you to engage openly, thoughtfully, honestly, and wholeheartedly, trusting that the God we're here to connect with is a God who, above all else, is love. So as we begin our time together, wherever and whenever you are, whether this is your first time with us or if you've been around forever, we hope that for the next hour you feel like you're among friends. Welcome to Southridge. We're glad you're here.
Thank you for the cross that you have carried. Thank you for your blood that was shed. You took the weight of sin upon your shoulders and sacrificed your life so I could live. Thank you for the cross that you have carried. Thank you for your blood that was shed. You took the weight of sin upon your shoulders and sacrificed your life so I could live. Now nothing is holding me back from you, Redeemer of my soul. Now nothing can hold me back from you. Your love will never let me go.
Thank you for your death and resurrection. Thank you for the power of your blood. I am overwhelmed by your affection, the kindness and the greatness of your love, the kindness and the greatness of your love. Now nothing is holding me back from you, Redeemer of my soul. Now nothing can hold me back from you. Your love will never let me go. Jesus,
that we're living in your kingdom. Jesus, you're the King upon the throne. And thank you for the way you've always loved me. And now I get to love you in return. And now I get to love you in return.
Every soul, every beating heart, every nation and every tongue, come find hope in the love of the Father. All creation will bow as one, lift their eyes to the risen Son, Jesus, Savior forever and after. Let his praises rise, all the glory for all the time. Jesus, Savior forever and after. This is love. Jesus came and died and gave his life for us. Let our voices rise and sing for all he's done. Our fear is overcome. Our God is love. Oh yeah, our God is love. Age to age, we will be singing in the light of all he's done. All the earth, everyone singing in the wonder of his love. Age to age, we will be singing in the light of all he's done. All the earth, everyone singing. This is love. Jesus came and died and gave his life for us. Let our voices rise and sing for all he's done. Our fear is overcome. Our God is love. Oh yeah, our God is love. Come on, sing. Our God is love. Our God is
I was buried beneath my shame. Who could carry that kind of weight? It was my tomb till I met you. I was breathing but not alive. All my failures I tried to hide. It was my tomb till I met you. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. Now your mercy has saved my soul. Now your freedom is all that I know. The old made new when I met you. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. I needed rescue, my sin was heavy, but chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan, now you call me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing, now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open, 'cause when you called my name, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day.
We are a diverse community of imperfect people.
who see the church as less of something to go to
and more as a life to be lived and shared with others.
We are continually growing in what it means to love one another.
Fighting for unity rather than fighting over unnecessary arguments.
We are living to serve this world in the way of Jesus, serving those in need and those on the margins.
Knowing that friendship truly makes a difference.
So if you're coming with questions or curiosities,
Hurts or frustrations,
joys or celebrations.
Wondering if the church can bring clarity or hope?
Or simply a place to belong.
we invite you to be at home with us,
We invite you to grow with us.
we invite you to explore with us.
and we invite you to belong with us.
Welcome to Southridge.
We're glad you're here.
Well, hey there, my name is Carrie Jones, and I serve as one of the Vineland location pastors here at Southridge. And we're so glad that you're participating with us, and we trust that this time has already been really meaningful for you. So I'm here in our Vineland location. If you've never joined us in person at one of our physical Southridge locations, we'd love to have you consider joining us in person when you're ready and able. And while we're so grateful to have this online platform to share in this experience from wherever and whenever we find ourselves, we love it even more when we can gather together as a community. Now, if you do in fact come out, please come and say hello to myself or Nate or Carly or one of our amazing volunteers here in Vineland, and we'd love to get a small gift into your hands as a way of showing our appreciation for taking the time to come and join us in person. We also have monthly welcome lunches for anyone who's looking to learn more about our community and just want to meet some great folks over some delicious food. And you can find more out about our welcome lunches on the events section of our website, and we'd absolutely love to meet you. Now, if for whatever reason you're not able to or not comfortable with joining us in person, please know that that doesn't in any way exclude you from participating in community with us. And if you need to touch base with a pastor for any reason, simply fill out one of our Connect cards and we'd love to hear from you. Now, for those of us who call this community home, one of the ways that we practice togetherness and express our gratitude to God and our generosity to others is through our regular financial contributions. And this is one of the ways that we can invest our lives in what God is doing in and through our church family and make a difference across our region and across our world. And all of our online giving options are available on our website. And so if you're able to give this week, I invite you to do so in a spirit of love and generosity. And we thank you in advance for your faithfulness. Well, that's it from me. Now we're going to hear this week's talk together. And as we do, I invite you to remove as many distractions as possible and listen in to what God might want to be saying uniquely to you.
Well, happy Easter, everyone. As I get started, I have a question for you, an Easter question, and it's simply this. What is your favorite Easter treat? Obviously, Easter is known for its treats, and we tend to enjoy a few here and there at this time. And so, what is your favorite Easter treat? And I know I can't hear you through our video screens, but where you are, you can share with someone near you that you came with, or even you could shout some out. You feel free to shout out in our locations. What is your favorite Easter treat? And I've brought along a few treats to see if any of these are fan favorites here. Maybe things that could be popular at Easter. How about for anybody? Anybody enjoy these oversized Kinder Easter eggs at Easter? The Kinder Surprise that is the treat that keeps on treating, because you get to enjoy the chocolate egg, but also build the toy inside and have some fun with that. How about for others? Does anybody like these Peeps? These marshmallow bunnies. This is not really my thing. Some of my family likes the sort of marshmallow type treats or even the gummy bunnies. I definitely prefer to stick to chocolate, so let's get back to the chocolates. For anybody, is just the classic sort of waxy chocolate Easter bunny your favorite? These are obviously, the classics for the end of the Easter egg hunt, and I'm assuming some of us will enjoy some of these over Easter. But now for the right answer. Did you know there's a right answer to what is your favorite Easter treat, or what it should be? And that's my declared favorite, the Cadbury mini eggs. These are my favorite by a long shot. They have just got the perfect blend of the candy-coated shell and the chocolate inside. And the bigger bags, they are dangerous for me, but this is just about the perfect size of my favorite Easter treat. And I wish I could sort of toss some of these to you through the video. Since I can't, I think I will just stash these away and enjoy some of these favorites later on this Easter weekend. But depending on your background or your heritage, when you had a chance to think about or maybe even shout out your favorite Easter treat, maybe some of you referred to Pascha. This is a traditional Easter bread known as Pascha. And for me, it always comes with sort of icing on top. That's part of it. But for me, I find it's best served when after you slice it, you have some extra icing and you cover like every square inch of the slice of Pascha. It's something I grew up getting to enjoy. And for today, Pascha is going to be the Easter treat that teaches us all we need to know about the good news of Easter. You see, the word Pascha, it's of Ukrainian and Russian origin, but really the roots in the word, it's their word for Easter, but the roots in the word go even deeper, all the way back to the Greek of the New Testament, particularly in the first half of the word pas. Because pas, P-A-S, is a Greek word. And so right up front, whether you take anything else away from what I'm going to share today, at least this Easter, you can tell your friends you now speak a little bit of Greek with this word pas. Can you try saying that? Pas. One more time, say it all together. Pas. Okay? Now we're speaking a little bit of Greek. But now that we know this Greek word pas, where we eventually get the name for Pascha, though it may be the easiest Greek word to learn and to say, it may be one of the most powerful words when it comes to understanding the good news of Easter and the significance of Jesus' death and resurrection. Like I said, perhaps even being able to teach us all we need to know about Easter. Because that's what this Greek word pas means. It means all. Simply translates into English as the word all, and all as in everything. All as in all things. All as in anything you could imagine being included in the word all. That when you hear pas, it means all, and all means all. Have we got that? So what does this have to do with Easter? Well, if you have a Bible with you or a Bible app and you wanted to sort of check this out for yourself, I want to invite us to turn to Colossians chapter 1, where we're going to look at what I'm going to refer to for today, the Pascha passage, where this word pas actually shows up quite a bit in Colossians 1. But we're going to zoom in on just a part of that passage, now that we can speak a little Greek, to look for the all means all pas in Colossians 1, 19 to 20. This is the Apostle Paul's description of what Jesus did on the cross when he says, for God was pleased to have pas, there it is, pas, all his fullness dwell in Jesus. And through Jesus to reconcile to himself, pas, all things, whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through Jesus' blood shed on the cross. Friends, this is the bullseye of what I'm referring to today as the Pascha passage in Colossians 1. And did you catch the pas? With no sports pun intended. See, Paul says here that through Jesus' death on the cross, what God was up to at Easter was reconciling what? Reconciling pas, reconciling all. And he says, all things. Again, all meaning all. He says, whether things in the world or the realm of earth, or things in the realm of heaven, through the cross as the wood between these two worlds, as we've been referring to it, the wood between all things, and the way through which Jesus is reconciling all things, pas things. To help drive this home, I want us to also hear how this is translated in a different translation of the New Testament, known as the Message translation, that describes the Pascha passage this way. It says, pas, there it is again, all the broken and dislocated pieces of the universe, all things in the universe that are out of sort or not yet as they should be. People and things, animals and atoms, they get properly fixed and fit together in vibrant harmonies, pas, all because of Jesus' death, his blood that poured down from the cross. Friends, in this Pascha passage, so to speak, we see that God is reconciling and fixing what things? All things. all things throughout the universe, everything that is out of sorts in our universe through Jesus' death on the cross, and that is at the center of the good news of Easter. Now, if God is reconciling all things through what Jesus did at Easter, what does that mean for sort of all the things of our lives and our experience? Well, it's been said that there are only 3 things in life that are certain. Have you heard this before? That there are 3 things in life that are certain: death, taxes, and the Leafs getting bounced in the 3rd round, right? And while the Bible doesn't say anything specifically about that 3rd thing, and I'm not going to make any predictions, and I'm not looking to get political about the 2nd, what about that 1st thing? The thing of death. Perhaps the most certain and feared thing in our human experience. And especially at Easter, how might our new ability to speak just a little bit of Greek with the word pas bring hope to the certainty of death that we all face in our lives? Well, to drill into that, I want to look at where else pas shows up in describing the good news of Easter. Again, in the Apostle Paul's writing here to a different church in 1 Corinthians 15, the Apostle Paul writes this. He says, "For just as death came into the world through a human being, now the resurrection from the dead has begun through another human being." He says, "For as in Adam, pas, all die," there it is again, "so in Jesus Christ, pas, all will be made alive." Paul says here that though death entered into our human experience, as the Bible teaches through the natural consequence of people's sin, he says that because of Jesus and what Jesus has done, now resurrection has also entered into the human experience. Resurrection has begun and been initiated in the human experience. And this passage says that though pas, all die in Adam, here it's referring to the first human being in the story of the Bible. And by the way, the name Adam in Hebrew is actually the Hebrew word Adam, which means humankind. And it says, though pas, all die in the human experience, in humankind, it says that pas, all, will be made alive in Christ. All as in pas, all meaning all things, everything, everyone. That because of the resurrection of Jesus, though death remains a certain part of our mortal existence, now death is no longer the end of our story. That death, the thing of death, is actually one of the all things being reconciled through what Jesus has done on the cross. The all things or pas that God is reconciling includes the thing of death as well. That even if we're not kind of all the way there yet, it points to where the reconciliation of all things is going. As Paul writes later in this same passage in 1 Corinthians 15, he says, "Then, when our dying bodies have been transformed into bodies that will never die," he says, "then this scripture will be fulfilled. Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting?" Friends, it's saying here that the all or pas that Jesus is reconciling and has accomplished through his death on the cross includes the death of death itself. That in what Jesus has done at Easter, the certain experience of death is actually being defeated and actually no longer carries the sting of the last word in the human story. For those who have been following along in our Wood Between the Worlds series and journey through Lent leading up to Easter, leaning on author and theologian Brian Zahn's perspectives on the cross through his book called The Wood Between the Worlds, Brian Zahn sums it all up this way. He says, "At this point, it should be evident that there is a myriad of meanings to the cross, not competing interpretations, but multiple achievements to be recognized. And though there are many accomplishments, the ultimate triumph of the cross is that it is the death by which death itself is destroyed. That the death of God resulted in the death of death. That the death of God dooms death itself to its own undoing. What he's saying here is that the moment that God, when all of God was living and dwelling in Jesus, the moment that God in Jesus gave himself up to death, succumbed to death himself as God, in that moment, death was doomed. That death was going to be defeated and overturned. That God was now delivering his victory over death through Jesus' accomplishment on the cross, which now gives us the hope for the resurrection and renewal of what things? We should know by now. All things, of pos things, because of the death and resurrection of Jesus at Easter. So friends, if that's what this little Greek word pos can teach us, and today and in this season symbolized by the icing-covered deliciousness of Pascha, what does that good news actually mean for our lives? What can that change or transform in our lives and in our experience? Well, first things first, I think in the biggest picture of life, it means we don't need to live with an overwhelming or even low-grade anxiety of the fear of death. That if you've ever found yourself almost feeling like you need to try to deny the certainty of death in our earthly experience, or otherwise sometimes feel like you're living with this ever-present fear or despair in believing that it must be the end of our story. Friends, when we put our trust in all that Jesus has done for us through his death and resurrection, we are no longer slaves to the fear of death. The New Testament writer of Hebrews spoke directly to that, saying, because God's children are human beings made of flesh and blood, the Son, Jesus, also became flesh and blood, that God lived through Jesus as a person. For only as a human being could he die. And only by dying could he, listen to this, break the power of death and free those who all their lives were held in slavery by their fear of death. Friends, while there may have been a time that people needed to live enslaved to the fear of death, believing that it was the end of our story, because of Jesus, that is no longer the case. That we can have a hope that death is not the end of our story, and that even death is being fixed and reconciled through what Jesus has done, and we do not have to live as slaves to the fear of death. And if that's the case in kind of the biggest picture of our lives and experience, I think it also means that we can find hope that Jesus is in the process of reconciling all the little deaths we experience along the way in our lives. Any of the broken or dislocated parts of your universe in your life, that Jesus is, through his death and resurrection, in the process of reconciling and repairing and fixing and fitting back together those little deaths that we all face. For some of us this Easter, it might be the grief and sadness we're carrying, the loss of a loved one or something we've lost in our lives. And well, for you, I hope you hear that you can have the hope that death is not the end of the story. I hope you also know as you walk through your grief that Jesus is with you and is in the process of reconciling all things. For some of us, it's sickness and illness that we're battling, or the illness of a loved one, a cancer diagnosis, a disease, a mental illness that we're living with. And I want you to hear today and know that Jesus is reconciling all things. For some of us, it's our fractured relationships or our broken heart. And I want you to hear today that Jesus is reconciling all things. For some of us, it's loneliness or insecurity. It's fears and doubts and difficult circumstances or decisions we're making. I want you to hear today, all things. For some, it's financial struggles and facing the cycles of poverty in our world. All things. Systems of injustice. All things. Addiction, anxiety, polarization, political chaos, racism, abuse. Friends, all things, that the good news of Jesus at Easter is that through his death and resurrection, he has conquered death and is in the process of reconciling and restoring and resurrecting all things and all the little deaths in our lives. And friends, that's what this little word pas, all, and this Easter bread dessert, Pascha, can remind us and tell us today. And my invitation to you is to receive this all things good news, to trust this all things good news, to choose it, to put your hope in it, to go on a journey of putting your faith in and betting your life on it, and then with our lives to participate in it by following Jesus together, him actively working in and through us by his Spirit, working towards the renewal of what things? Say it with me, all things. And to help us catch a glimpse of that, and to celebrate that this morning and see how that transformation is possible in our own lives. We have the privilege of hearing a few stories of a few people in our community who have made the decision to get baptized today as they put their faith in Jesus for the renewal of all things in their lives and on their journey. And so let's let these stories be the real life symbol and celebration of Jesus' reconciliation of Pas, of all things, including and especially his all things victory over the thing of death. Happy Easter, everyone, and happy Pascha.
When I grew up, I got dragged to church, and the only thing I cared about was my friends were out playing, and I got stuck in the church listening to somebody yap. I got married in 1973. After 2 years, my wife got pregnant, and she was 6 months along when I was at work, and I got a phone call saying that she was in the hospital because she had a miscarriage. And then I hated God. I always said that if I saw him, I'd kill him. I've been in Southridge 3 different times, and the last time I came was in June 2024. One night, I believe that I was touched by an angel. When I woke up in the morning, I was a different person. I didn't want to be that person anymore that I was. I started coming to devotion. I started listening to Doug and Chris. I'm very happy, and now I believe in God and Jesus. I know that God is there, and I know that God is doing what he's doing, not just with me, but with a lot of us, with everyone. I want to be baptized because I want to be in with Jesus. I gave my will to God, and I know he's taken over because I can feel him.
Growing up, I kind of grew up in a semi-religious household where we would kind of go more to church on the bigger holidays like Easter and Christmas. After a while, it kind of got, not as fun. I was a kid and I went through a loss, and it kind of hit me pretty hardly, and something came over me and just told me to pray about it. And so after a few prayers, that's when I kind of decided, I think I want to go to church. And so I ended up going to a few churches around. Not too long after that, I started volunteering at Rose City Kids, and just being able to sing and open my heart to God really took a toll on me. So I feel that baptism is the next step for me, mostly because I thought that it's such a beautiful thing. And then I got to witness my cousin's girlfriend get baptized, Brittany, and I thought that that was amazing, and it really opened my eyes to what could happen to me as well. And so I try to take that next step. Moving forward, I kind of want to just see where God can open my eyes, and kind of lead me down the path that he's decided for me.
I was baptized Roman Catholic, but I was an infant, so that was no choice of my own. A good friend of mine, Ken, introduced me to Southridge about 2.5 years ago. I haven't been to church in quite a while prior to this, and since then, I've never looked back. There's times in my life where I've had ups and downs. I look forward to coming to church. Well, since I've been attending Southridge, I've met so many people, but my heart and my soul is out, and thank everybody that's made me a better person. Being Easter Sunday, given the importance of that day, we decided to do my baptism on the Sunday because Christ rose from the dead on Sunday, and I'm going to start a new life. God knows what the road is going to bring. It's Easter Sunday, so I would like to wish everybody in our Southridge communities, all our churches, that everybody have a safe and happy and holy Easter, sorry. Better edit that one.
At the cross, the greatest love that ever was, it's opened up a way for us to come. At the cross, by your wounds we all are healed. Death, eternal life is sealed for love. Made a way for everyone. Former things are gone, the new has come. Dark and dread of death has been undone. Once and for all, once and for all. For here the heart of God is clearly seen. We are loved beyond our wildest dreams. Dawning of a new reality. Once and for all, once and for all, yeah. At the cross, cure for every sin-sick soul, where broken lives can be made whole again. At the cross, your mercy like a cleansing flood, your dying breath to turn this mud into a masterpiece and be our everlasting peace. The cross has made a way for everyone. Former things are gone, the new has come. The dark and dread are gone, the new has come. The dark and dread of death has been undone. Once and for all, once and for all. For here the heart of God is clearly seen. We are loved beyond our wildest dreams. The dawning of a new reality. Once and for all, once and for all. It is finished, love has spoken, hell is vanquished, the curse is broken, death defeated, our sin forgiven. Once and for all, once and for all. It is finished, love has spoken, hell is vanquished, the curse is broken, death defeated, our sin forgiven. Once and for all, once and for all, once and for all.
We're a community of imperfect people
who desire to put into practice the good news that we preach.
Our faith is not about an hour of watching or attending.
It's about a lifestyle of full devotion to Christ.
not just as something to believe, but someone to follow.
We don't want to talk a good game on Sunday, only to remain unaffected or ineffective the rest of the week.
So while we gather each week to sing, pray, listen, and learn,
we know that an hour a week will never produce the life change that we so desperately need.
It requires a daily investment of time and training. It takes practice.
And practice.
And more practice.
And when we mess up, we forgive ourselves and each other.
Then help each other get up and keep practicing.
As we go now into the rest of our week,
may we not just be hearers of the word, but doers also.
May the Spirit of God fill us and make us kind and compassionate,
honest and humble,
generous and hospitable,
those who repay evil with good,
respond to injustice with action, overcoming despair with hope.
Let us be known not by what we're against, but by what and who we are for.
And most of all, let us love one another, because God is love.
It's been good to be together, but now it's time for us to go.
In the name of the Father, who loves us unconditionally.
In the name of the Son, who restores our true humanity.
And in the name of the Spirit, who empowers us to live life to the full.
Amen.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope that you felt inspired and challenged by our time together. Now, we know that for what we've heard today to become a reality in our daily lives, it's going to take more than this 1 hour a week we spend together. It requires a moment-by-moment, 7 days a week commitment to practicing the way of peace and the way of Jesus. And that's why we provide a host of ways to continue to lean into God's presence while we're away from each other. As always, you can click the Practice This Week button below the player for our daily spiritual exercises to continue to develop the muscles we've started building today. If it helps, you can also opt into the Spiritual Practices notifications on our app to get those helpful reminders every morning as you start your day. And if you'd like a more personal conversation with somebody about anything that's going on in your life, we invite you to reach out to our location pastors who will follow up with you privately. Simply fill out our Connect card, which you can find on our website or app. Now that's all for now. Thanks for joining us and have a great week.